So you knew that I couldn't get through an entire Do Not Sync series without mentioning AI. Obviously, it's been something I've devoted quite a bit of my videos this year on because it freaked me out. It's scary. It's creating this very uncertain feeling in me of what this means for our industry in the future. So I have to include it in a Do Not Sync series because you need to know this is a potential threat and something that could absolutely alter and change and adjust the future of our entire industry. So if you have not been following my channel or been following the developments in AI, generative AI music just this year alone in 2023 have been getting much better very quickly. And even though I know a lot of people still scoff at it and they think, it's still not that great, I'm still not impressed. Remember though, how quickly a robot is getting at making music versus a human being. That's what you should be paying attention to. Not whether or not right now, at the end of 2023, the AI music is there yet. Look at how quickly it's progressed since basically March of this earlier when Google's Music LM model kind of got released and they started showing what it was capable of. Lower sample rate, music wasn't that impressive. And now at the end, we've already got Stability AI, which is a music generation model that can create CD quality sample rates. And I think some of the music I've heard from that model are good enough to place in YouTube videos, like in the background of people's YouTube videos. I think it's already there. Is it great enough for primetime movies or TVs or promos or commercials? No, I don't think it's there yet. But look how short of a time span it took for those models to get pretty decent enough for maybe some small micro licensing opportunities. It's, already there right now. So what does that mean for us? I don't really know, but I do know that if we are primarily only focusing on background instrumental music for TV, reality shows and drama shows and all that kind of stuff, well, you got to realize that most people watching TV shows don't even really notice the music that we create. I mean, it's kind of a sad fact, but it's true. We don't get credit on screen. As somebody's watching, the Kardashians or whatever reality show they love or some cooking competition show, they'll feel the music, right? They'll kind of just feel this kind of sense of tension. And that means the music was high quality production music. But how much are they thinking I wonder who the composer was that put together that track? I wonder what they are going through. I wonder how long it took them. And I wonder what their story is. I bet zero, maybe you and I think about that because we're like, that was a cool piece of music behind the scenes. We're paying attention to that. But the average general audience doesn't think about us, doesn't care about us. And they're definitely not going to care if that background music that's sort of not even really noticeable was AI generated or human created. They just don't care. And then it makes you wonder, what about an actual cable company or a network? Will they actually care that if they're playing, placing 100 or if somebody just creating a reality TV show and they're putting 100 cues behind their episode, which is very common, are they going to care whether or not it's all human created or it's from this very cheap and effective AI subscription model that they have access to, that they can type in prompt, click on a couple of buttons and get all the background instrumental music they need, royalty free, remember, copyright free, 100% free and clear, faster, easier, cheaper than working with human musicians. No royalties, no fuss, no muss, lowers their costs down. This is something we got to be aware of, right? You got to be thinking about this stuff as we move forward. So, usually what you find with capitalism and with all marketplaces is we tend to always drift towards the most efficient and cost-effective solutions. So AI is going to beat us in that marketplace, just hands down. Now, there'll be some laws that get passed, maybe some things that stop companies from using AI music, maybe some legal concerns for sure. There's definitely going to be a whole host of things that we can't really predict right now. But I would not just be going into this industry blindly assuming that, AI music will never take off. It'll never be a thing that we have to actually compete with. I would say it's smarter to just assume you're going to do that, right? And if it doesn't happen, great, bonus, win. You just got prepared and you're ready to go. But assume the worst, assume something could potentially happen, and prepare yourself accordingly. You can't lose by being over-prepared for a fight, right? If it doesn't happen and AI music doesn't actually creep into the TV film licensing business, well, you've just basically upped your game. You've become a stronger composer. You've probably really improved your productions in some way. So you can't really lose by being overly prepared and concerned about AI, but you definitely need to be worried about it and concerned about it. And this is just the start of these AI models. And this is basically after less than a year of the development of it. So right now, It's instrumental, usually it's the electronic genres that it does fairly well at. Acoustic, piano, guitar, that kind of stuff. It usually starts to fall flat. It doesn't feel very authentic and human, but this is just the start. Where is it going to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years? I have no doubt that at some point these models are going to be on the Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman level, probably also with high quality vocals attached to it. That is certainly a possibility. There's already AI models that can generate high quality vocals. Granted, somebody has to program it and maybe actually program the melodies and the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. But what happens with technology. It basically exponentially gets better every year or so these days. So this is just stuff that you got to be aware of. It's going to be something that can absolutely affect us. Now, I've definitely put together a lot of resources within Sync Academy. It's called my AI Proofing Your Music series, which is basically trying to get you guys ahead of this curve right now before it becomes a big problem for us. Right now, it's still under the surface. It hasn't been released really commercially in any meaningful sense. But that day is coming at some point soon. So you don't want to be sort of scrambling at the last minute trying to figure out, how do I remain relevant? How do I create more human elements to my music? We are getting you guys prepared much earlier than we probably need to, but I want to make sure that I can do anything I can to kind of keep you guys ahead of this curve before this technology takes off. Now, what happens in 5 years, 10 years when this technology can literally do anything that the best producer, composer, artist, vocalist can do? Anybody's guess. I have no clue, guys. I really couldn't tell you. That could spell the very end, like the actual end of a lot of the music industry. It might do that. It certainly could be the end of the sync licensing business. I have no idea, or at least cut out a lot of them. What I do think is certainly going to be true, though, as this technology evolves, is the producers that are sort of not that great in terms of they create like good or average music, and it's like it's listenable, but it's not like exceptional. I do think AI music, you got to be more worried about AI music than probably anybody else, because AI music right now sounds kind of generic and okay, average, not so great. That level will go up and up and up. So if you're kind of competing on that level where you're primarily relying on pre-made loops, you're kind of copying and pasting your way through a lot of your track, you're gonna be up against a big competitor here with AI music. So you need to challenge yourself to kind of raise up your quality, become an exceptional producer, an exceptional composer, see yourself as more of an artist, not so much of as a background instrumental producer anymore. See yourself as somebody that is pushing your creativity, blending genres, adding new interesting vocals to your music, just pushing what you can actually do creatively. I think you really need to start carving out a little bit more of a niche for yourself as an exceptional sync artist, if you want to call yourself that. And that's basically what we're talking to you guys about in that AI Proof series. So definitely make sure you guys do check that out if you haven't already. So, all right, so now you're aware. These are the potential threats with AI. This is something you need to be aware of. Eyes open going into sync licensing. We're going to finish up this series in the next video talking about how the general future of this industry is extremely uncertain right now. We have no idea whether it comes from AI, whether it comes from strikes, whether it comes from other technological disruptions that are coming. We have a very uncertain future right now in sync licensing. So I'm going to spell all that out for you in that final video, and I hope that can help some of you guys make that final decision whether or not sync licensing is going to be something you want to pursue full-time, part-time, or maybe not at all.